Hey everybody, Chris from 3 Day Weekend here. I'm working on the RZR. We're gonna put some rock lights on it. Long story short, I'm in a parade. I think they'd be cool. Whatever, I'll throw them on there. I've never done rock lights before, but I did some research and came up with this brand. People seem to really like it. MICTUNING, whatever you want. But that's the one I went with. It comes with 8 different pods. It does Bluetooth to your phone. So we're gonna open it up and see what we got, and I'm gonna install it on the machine. So this is the very first opening of the box. It does not come sealed or taped. Interesting. Oh man. Oh yes, a sticker. That's how you know it's gonna be good. We've got the smallest manual ever. Looks like you put it on the frame and then you plug it in. Okay, cool, thanks, that was helpful. Lots of wire. And then we've got the actual pods, which are kind of lighter than I expected them to be. Oh wait, what's this? Oh, those aren't the pods. These are the pods. Oh, these are just the holders for the pods. Okay. All right. Yeah, there's some weight to that. That's metal. It's got a frosted lens on it, probably to make the light a lot more even. And just a couple of holes. Excellent news. They work. I just hooked them up 12 volts. I've got an old security system battery I keep just for these occasions, but you can use the battery in the machine. And I hooked it up. I didn't touch any other buttons, and they all started doing a little flashing pattern. And I'll tell you what, these things are bright. Look at that. I've got it paired to my phone now, which was kind of weird. The phone found it. This is a Note 20 Ultra, by the way. And it said unconnect, and I thought that meant unconnect, like disconnect from it, but no, what it meant is things that it sees that are not connected currently. So I selected it, and then when I did, it moved up to save connections, and now it's letting me pick, the colors that I want and the brightness as well. Oops. Or if you tap that, you can go back to whatever you wanted it to be on, and I want it on bright. So for the parade, I just have it going back and forth, red and green. I might change it again, I don't know. But that's just testing, and it works. So now I am going to look at installing. And just to confirm, they are all the same length, and it seems to be just about 11 feet. If you pull it straight, maybe an inch or two more. I've been scoping this out for a little bit, and here's what I have so far. 4 of them are going to mount easy. There's plastic right here. It doesn't go all the way through to the cabin. I just drill a couple holes, bolt them, perfect, done. Can't even see them from out here. Beautiful. The other ones need to go like up on this frame, but I don't have anywhere to mount them up there. Let me show you the back too. Kind of the same deal. We got this whole big panel, and I'm just gonna drill a couple holes and bolt them through. That goes behind the passenger seat, and there's nothing there. It's just empty, so one will be easy that way. The other one is gonna go on this bar somewhere. The same goes on the other side. One in the front goes right up onto this piece of plastic. Easy. One in the rear. I have to be mindful of the computer, which is mounted to that firewall. But it should be clear in this little range here. Same thing on the back. I'm thinking it's going to go on this bar. So you see what I'm thinking is hose clamps. That way it is removable if I so choose. And that's the first one mounted. That's going to look pretty good if you're standing at any normal height, you're not even going to see it. That is what one looks like. You know, that is pretty good light out of there. I don't know, if I were to do it again, I may have just ordered 4. That is a pretty bright light. And that's with 2. Doesn't look too bad. I'm thinking you could definitely get away with the 4 light system. It'd be okay. It's pretty bright. But that's not how we do things around here. It's all or nothing. So I'm gonna give it all. So I just went over to grab another one of these rumor grommet things, and I found that there are 2 different kinds. There's flat, and then there's curved. So you can use one for bars. I was wondering how that was gonna work with that. I figured it was just gonna have a gap, but that'll fit right to the contour of a bar. Cool. All right, back to work. I'm on revision 3 for these. I was gonna use the hose clamps like I showed you, but the head of the little bolt would have been sticking down and rubbing on my frame, and I'm super picky about that kind of stuff, so I didn't want to do it. But then I thought, oh, what if I put the bolt straight onto the light? Now the rubber is going to cover that up, and guess what? A zip tie can no longer get off, and I can securely zip tie that to my frame, which will hold it good enough for me. I mean, hose clamp would do an even better job, and that wouldn't move. And then the other way to do it, the only other way I could see to do it, is drill holes and tap them straight into your frame, and there's no way I'm doing that either. So that's what I'm doing. Might change it further down the road, but it will get the job done for now. It is done. They look pretty cool. So on the back, one is facing back, and the other is kind of facing down and forward. So it lights up that tire pretty good. And it is the same on the other side. 2 up top. One facing back, one facing down. Cool, looks good. Now I just have a substantial amount of wiring to do to hide them all and run them up underneath and install the control box. I have one side all run. This is kind of a pain in the neck. Let me show you what I ended up doing. So the 2 on the rear come through this rear firewall, down, anchored, and then over and through this channel, and then up here onto the other side. Now these ones, they have 11 foot of cord or whatever I told you. They're right there, so I got to get rid of all this wire, and rather than having it up under the dash, I figured I'll put them in this dead space between the outer fender and the inner fender, and hopefully I just don't hit a tree really hard and mess it up. But that should be good. Keep them out of the way. The connections are all over here too. The controller I've mounted way, you probably can't see it. Let me grab my light. The controller I have mounted way up here. Just drilled a couple holes, put some bolts through it to hold it, and that's not going anywhere. And then one lead comes out and goes out this side, and the other lead goes over and it'll hit the other side, which I haven't finished yet. And then obviously these will tie into power. And now this side is done. Pretty much the same setup. Just coil it up, zip tied it right to the side of the dash. That runs the same way on this side, and then up and out the rear. Pretty straightforward. Not too awful. And then it just runs across the dash and plugs in right down under there. So that's it for running wires. Now I've just got to button everything up. Now comes my favorite part, and that is making the electronics. We have some basic components. First we got our plug that's going to give us power. Black, yellow, red. Black is ground. Yellow is only on when the key is on. Red is on all the time. We've got our switch and all the various connections on there. Top ones are ground. This is so that the button lights up on the back. This is our feed power in. And then this is our switch coming out, and then we jumper that over to the side so that we have power onto our lights as well. That's why there are so many. So we basically only need to worry about these three once we get all the connections hooked up. Ground, power in, power out. We've got a basic fuse holder, nothing fancy there, and we've got our relay. So we need to design a circuit that gets our power, only allows the rock lights to turn on when the key is on, and draws from the main power here, because you can't draw too many amps from the yellow wire because you've only got 10 amps budget for your entire ignition system in the RZR. So we need to just use that to trigger our relay, and then our relay will connect actual good power to our rock lights. So I'm going to draw this up real quick and see what we've got. So this is what I have. Real quick, this will allow you to run multiple switches, circuits off of a single relay. So black is still ground. It's going to ground out this side of the relay, ground to all your switches, ground to your rock lights or what have you. Yellow is going to come in and energize this side of the relay. That'll short the coil and close this switch. So the yellow comes on whenever the key is on. Until the key is on, nothing down here is getting any power. Once it does click on, bang, this one is on. Now your switches are getting power, both the LED side and the circuit side. And then it can run down here, do the same thing, and it runs over here, does the same thing, and so on and so forth, however many you have. And then this is just your power, so that'll run the rock lights, that'll run the dome light, that'll run whatever else you may have. So one relay, multiple circuits, one relay per circuit. So two different ways that you can do it. So here you have the finished product. Nothing's on, no backlights, anything like that, until I turn the key on. And then all the backlights are on. Rock lights. Lights, you see. And we click that on. When we do, the top of it turns on like that. And if we go outside, the rock lights are on. And they are doing the last pattern that I set them to on the phone. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with them. We'll see how they hold up. This thing sees quite a bit of mud and water, so if it's gonna break them, we'll know pretty soon. Overall, I would say that this would be an intermediate install just because of all the holes you have to drill, and then you have to pull all the fenders off, not to mention the electronics. It would be easier if you just straight hooked them to the battery with a simple switch. But since I wanted mine to light up inside with the auxiliary power only, made it a little more complicated, but you can do it either way. I'll put a link to everything that I used right in the video description. Hopefully this video helped you out. If it did, could you just give me a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe. You can see all the latest projects we're doing and things we're adding. Alright, well thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.